things I want to talk about. I want to talk about relationships, business, and trust. And in there, I'll talk a little bit about social media. But if you noticed, I didn't really talk a whole lot about Twitter or Facebook or whatever. I'm not going to show you how to use TweetDeck. Guy did a great job yesterday. I'm going to talk to you about the things behind it, and I'm going to give you some ideas as a business person, and I want to give the business people in the room some ideas on how to better use these relationships in two ways. Because I don't think anyone's kind of figured the dance out all the way yet, and that's okay, because in the kitchen we experiment, right? In the kitchen's where we get to try out new things, and I think there's such a great opportunity in front of us. We really do have an opportunity. The other thing I want to point out is that we're going to talk about relationships a lot, because to me the right way to sell is through relationships. Now, I don't necessarily need a relationship with the person selling me the chicken nuggets. It's perfectly okay. I need the 4-piece, I need the apple dippers, I need the chocolate milk evidently. Because my boy suddenly thinks that's good. And I don't really need to know the person behind the counter. But I guess if I had a complaint, I would want to know something. I would want to know who to reach. Relationships are the goal, and one of the things that we look at is how do we get numbers? How do we build an audience? That was Guy's big point yesterday. I don't disagree with Guy. You do need the relationship to have some kind of volume behind them before there's any real yield on it. But it's relationships to me. And the difference between an audience and a community is which way you point the chairs. Audience, community, right? It's a very subtle detail, but that detail is everything. I promise, there'll be about 2 to 4 blog posts after this. This is 2 to 4, evidently, math is hard. There will be 2 to 4 blog posts after this. He goes, man, I didn't learn nothing from that guy. It was the same old, same old. I promise you, the best-selling item in the world in book authoring is common sense, because nobody has it. You can write the same thing over and over again. It's sad, isn't it? But that's what I read about. I read about how to be a person, which you think we kind of all get, but then we get to our cubicle farms, and they call it, if you on your side, if you're creating it, they call it really targeted, well-written, great copy, direct marketing. When you receive it, you call it junk mail. Right? I got that out of Inbound Marketing, Dharmesh Shah and Brian Halligan's book. But it's really true, right? David Ogilvy has this thing where he says, the customer's not a moron, she's your wife. No, I don't think you caught that the right way. The customer's not a moron, she's your wife, meaning don't treat them like stupid people. How often do you get to feel like a stupid person? By the way people talk to you, right? Especially about technology, or you know what? I went to do car buying. I remember this one when I'm 18. I won't say which dealership or which kind of car, but I went to buy a car and I didn't know jack. And they kept talking to me. And then when they realized I was 18, so they realized my mom was a checkbook, then they only talked to her. And at that point did I feel good. But then they started talking to me about all these technical details of the car, and they turned to her and said, and it's red. I said, I don't know any different than she knows. I know that which part you put the gas in, and you don't put the oil in the gas part. That's about all I got. And change the blades every now and again when they fall off in a snowstorm. That's kind of how you know how to do that. Just like when you know how to change the oil is when the fake sticker thing falls off. It's like the last leaf on the tree in Bug's Life. Little Disney callback, kids. I know who buttered my bread this trip. The 3 big parts of social media, if we break out all the words, are called listening, connecting, and publishing. So then like figuring out a recipe, you get the eggs, the milk, and the powder or whatever, like they're making a cake. Or at least in my house that's how it is. It's, eggs, milk, and powder. Scratch. Kathy Ireland makes things from scratch, I bet. Martha frickin' Stewart. $1 billion company sleeping in airports. Selling socks. She was awesome. She said everybody's name. Did you see the difference in her? She said everybody's name. She's a wonderful thing. Just, again, Maxine was here hugging and kissing. She didn't get to eat a potato or nothing on her plate. Sure, I love the photo. I love the photo. It's what we do. We connect with people because that's where business is. We love to be in love, don't we? We love when people give us that extra treatment. talk for more than one sentence with any cast member here, and they're trained deeply to show you love. That's what I like in business the most. The ROI on love is so much better on the ROI of Twitter. Just FYI. It's a financial fact. Listening. Here's the first thing you do about listening. Here's your takeaway kind of thing, because I really feel bad. I'm just glad that y'all made it. You get to do anything. If you Google the phrase "grow bigger ears," I have a whole post up on how to figure out how to build your own listening station for free. And when you figure out that's a lot of work, then you can buy a listening station for one of those kind of companies. But listening is the first important cool thing. It's where all the cool stuff is happening in the business side of social media, and it's where companies are making a difference. In this crowd, if I say, "Do you know who Comcast Cares is?" Get some hands up. All right, see a lot of people, right? Because you're all smart. You know, I do this sometimes, and they're kind of like, "Quoi?" That would be French for what? In Spanish for K. The thing about Comcast Cares is it went from, I was talking to some cast members outside, and I said, it's really funny, there's a sentence we use only in two places. One is with our spouses in a big heated argument, and the other is with the cable company. It's the same sentence for both. You are not listening to me. When you get to that point, and it's about all over. That guy better run. It's the only time in life your husband has to be Michael Jordan. But the cable company's the only other place where we scream that, right? Because we're just so frustrated. I don't have to reset my computer again. I know how to use the internet. It's not working. All these companies are doing that really well. That's why we wrote the book Trust Agents. The whole reason we bothered writing a book is, man, books are hard to do. You have to, it's not like blogging. You don't just go on, I think I'll do this today. It's hard, and we wrote it because we thought, wow, it's really crazy. I know names of people and companies. I know Morgan Johnston from JetBlue, George G. Smith Jr. at Crocs, no longer. God rest him. Now he's somewhere else. He's alive. Paula Bird, no longer at Southwest, God rest her, is also still alive. Jenny Sisney at Kodak. When the hell did we all start knowing all these people's names who were behind the brands, right? But to me, Jenny Sisney is Kodak. Maybe Jeffrey Hazlett because he's so funny. But Jenny's Kodak to me, not any CE anybody. Tom, one of the bloggers here at Disney, is more who I think of when I think of Disney right now than I think of Meg Crofton, wonderful lady that she is. Because she's one of us. She's what we're doing, right? So the opportunity on your side of this equation, old blogger friends, is either find ways to be partners with the kinds of companies that you want to be their trust agent, or make relationships with those trust agents, because that's the person you want to get to know. The C-level whoever isn't who you need to spend a year or two. Well, except for Chief Executive Barrett, which is absolutely understood. The company's a little flatter, smarter. But that's who you got to get to know. You got to get to know the people who talk like us and walk like us. Oh, that sounds like a song. I want to be like you. Right? That's a trust agent song right there. There's three different things you do with listening, though. So don't just think of all listening tools and listening work as one thing. Part of it's kind of PR and crisis stuff. I once was showing a room full of people. Adam might know this story. I was once showing a room full of people how to listen in some certain searching tools, and we put up one of this company's brands that they were the shepherd of. And the first thing we found was a blog post of a guy who had used this product with his son, and the son had splotches all over his body from using the product. And the dad was blogging it kind of like, have you ever seen this? And, hoping for comments from his community to say, gosh, yeah, my kid got a rash like that. It's nothing. There's so many great opportunities to feel guilty and terrified as parents, isn't it? I just told my daughter the other day, I said, I don't have any money for college, but I got lots for therapy. I have a therapy fund for my daughter. And my son, he doesn't get anything. He's just going to end up being a townie at the bar. Hashtag bad dad. No, I love my children.